Pillars of Eternity continues. Welcome back, everyone, to more Pillars of Eternity. I've decided for now to swap out Pelagina with our Devil of Karok here. I might switch between Pelagina and Aloth. I like the utilization that Aloth has more than Pelagina. He seems more useful, honestly. Although we now run into the issue where we kind of have two people really maxed out in mechanics. And we really don't need Aloth to be able to lockpick. So if anything, we can spec him and get rid of all that. However, we also want to get the Devil of Karok's story done, so we'll use her for the time being. We have to get Pelagina's story done as well, so we will have to put her back in the party at some point. But for this video, I'm going to go ahead and play around with her and get used to the skills that she has.
Village was a touch livelier when I saw it last. Ain't saying much, though.
Her head swivels as she looks around.
Maybe they saw you coming and went to hide.
Long as they don't come back with rocks in hand, that's fine by me.
Why did you want to come back anyway?
Anything's better than Galvino's workshop. You ain't heard the old buzzard sing.
She turns away again. Alright, well, we need to turn in our temple quest here for getting the hammer blessed. And to those of you who have not been watching the World of Warcraft, welcome back to Game Hoarder 2020.
What is it?
We don't want to turn her in.
I completed the ritual!
Just in time, too. I was supposed to be done with this sword yesterday. Okay, Magic Hammer, do your thing.
She raises the hammer and prepares to strike the unfinished sword. I'm gonna watch. Maska swings the hammer down hard, and both blade and anvil ring with the force of the blow. The blade's metal ripples like liquid as it shapes itself into a proper sword. Maska grins and nods at you. But the ringing continues, becoming more and more shrill, and just as the sound becomes unbearable, the sword shatters, scattering metal shards across the room.
Talfar's ritual. I haven't seen anyone try to use it in some time.
He glances at you.
You had help, of course, but it doesn't change the fact that you were the instigator, Maska. Is there any reason I shouldn't immediately cast you out of the temple? No, Master.
Maska's eyes are fixed on the floor.
What about you?
Ingram turns to you.
You made yourself a part of this. Is there anything you wish to say in Maska's defense?
Maska's a worthless smith. Your temple would be better off without her.
Very well, Maska. I cast you from this temple. Take nothing but what you brought with you when you arrived. But...
Maska's eyes well up with tears.
Yes, Master.
She turns to you.
Thank you for trying to help. Here, take this. It's one of the few weapons I made that turned out all right.
Damn. Went through all that trouble to help her and then get her kicked out of the temple. That was not nice, Lug. That was not nice at all. You prick. Ringfinger. The hunt for Nidin proved difficult, as the Glanfathans lied incessantly to cover for those who were responsible, and Orlin Brishkelgen helped Mainha sort the truth out, eventually recovering every part of the dead murderer's body. Though the Glanfathans were more than willing to lie about what they had done, none of them turned violent when Maniha and the Brishalgin confronted them, and Anamfath ordered the Brishalgin to bury the body in a new location that was less well-traveled than the paths near Silaban Rilag. Upon returning to Kadnua, Mainha, I guess it's Mainha, Maniha, realized that the Anamfath had never asked for Needhen's ring finger to be returned. So I guess we get the finger, which has Major Spellbind, Mind Lance, and Constitution of 3. Tied to a simple leather cord, this finger once belonged to the notorious Glenfathan murderer. Locals exhumed his body to create sacred objects, but you assisted a Glenfathan Anamfatha in recovering it, despite insisting that the body be buried in a new secret location. The Anamfatha never asked you to return the finger that had been found at the killer's original grave. Mind Lance, nice. Area of effect. Some pierce damage. Only once per rest, though. We have an attack coming. We're probably going to break something if we don't get there. Okay. We need to search for the missing miners. We have all kinds of shit to do.
As you wish.
Gods, it's freezing out here. Let's get this over with quickly. I'd go inside the fishery, but the smell... Ugh. I'm also regretting having the fish stew at the end. One of the fishermen said they found a body in one of the barrels once. According to the town's record, the fishery doesn't export much these days. Why do they keep it open? It's an unnecessary drain on resources better spent on the White Forge and the mines. Closing down the fishery could help convince the investors that Stelwart is serious about maintaining its prosperity.
Do we close the fishery down? Let's close it down. Screw Stelwart.
I agree!
I'll be heading over to the Stelwart mines next. My clients are concerned about the security and safety of the mines. Meet me there when you're ready.
Okay, maybe she ran inside.
You see Gamel?
How could I miss it? Looks like he went swimming in Samuth's blood.
Blazes. Never would have pegged him for a freak.
Well, she gotta be in here somewhere. There she is.
It's impressive how quickly Stelwart reopened and the mine has got operational. She looks around approvingly. However, I'm concerned about the behavior of some of the miners. They seem erratic, confused. It won't look good in my report.
Wait here, I'll look into it.
Gamel, a worker in Stellar Mines, has been apprehended for murder. Foreman Ishmael believes that Gamel may also be responsible for the recent string of disappearances. Let's go ahead and finish this quest first. It's fairly clear why Gamel is under suspicion. His face is spattered with blood. His hands are bound, but you can see blood and scraps of flesh under his fingernails. Gamel's posture is hunched, and tears have dug tracks through the layer of gore on his face. You find yourself the target of a pleading expression the moment you're in sight.
I have a few questions for you.
Gamel looks up at you wide-eyed. As his mouth opens to speak, you notice that his teeth and lips are also stained with blood.
Please, it's like I told them. I don't know what happened. I can't remember a thing. There's no way I could have done that to Samuth.
Just shut up and answer my fucking questions!
Gamel swallows, ducking his head, and falls silent.
What's the last thing you can remember, Dick?
Tarek shaking me awake. I was on the floor. Samuth was curled up nearby, and he was dead.
His face crumples.
That's all. There's hours just gone out of my head.
Who's Tarek?
He handles the construction in the tunnels. There was a cave-in the north, and he and the others have been working on clearing it for a while now. He must have been grabbing supplies for the crew when he found me.
What do you do here?
Me? I'm just a dragsman. Load the carts, get the ore from here to there. I do whatever they ask me to, really. I haven't lived in Stelwart long. Heard they needed more hands to work the mines. Thought I could make a fresh go of it. Maybe even see the battery. Why is this happening to me?
He tries to wipe his nose with the back of his hand, leaving crimson smears behind.
Where are the other miners?
I don't know. Nobody knows where the miners have gone. I swear it, I didn't have anything to do with it.
His voice cracks.
If I find out you're lying, I'll kill you myself.
Gamel cringes.
No, I'm not. I swear I wouldn't have hurt him. This is all a mistake.
Looks like we need to talk to Tarek. Foreman Ishmael.
You can trust me. Yes.
You can trust my nuts. Work, all day long. Work, while I sing this song.
What is it?
Whoa. Samuth's body is laid out cleanly. You can see that his throat has been torn out, and his face is all fucked up. Deep scratches are in it. His hands are stained a light yellow, because he pissed on himself.
You here for the body? We're spread too thin through these mines.
What is it?
Samuth's corpse bears the evidence of a savage attack. His throat was torn out and scratches cover his face. His hands are oddly enough stained yellow.
Of course.
Oh, shit! Charge!
Right here. Right here.
Alright, let's see what we got going on here. Blinding strike. Dirty attack that makes the opponent unable to see.
Aims for a vital area. It's once per encounter, so we want to burn all these. Sap. Leaves the target stunned, and 2 per rest. Shadowing behind allows the character to temporarily turn invisible. Enemies cannot detect invisible characters, and attacks made from invisibility automatically count as a sneak attack. Oh. The devil cackling.
So much for you.
I heard you.
What? There's a lesson.
That poor guy. What's going on here?
Been wondering about what you told Yalvino about seeing souls. All that Watcher business true?
She twists her torso to face you.
Yeah?
Mayhap I'm looking for someone. Woodcutter by the name of Harmka.
Here we go with your story. Tell me why you want to find Harmka.
So I can kill him. Wrap my fingers around his throat till he's as cold as
Oh.
this wretched village.
Wow.
Her fingers tighten into fist, the metal squealing and rattling.
He was one of them. The mob that destroyed Cold Morn. I tracked him to Stalwart years ago, but got caught before I could finish my business.
Dark iridescent whirls appear and fade on her chest plate. Heart ripples from her metal carapace. Heat ripples, not heart.
You want me to help you murder someone? Okay.
Oh, don't go all soft on me. He's had it coming.
A note of cold fury buzzes within her.
This man, Harmka. I saw him outside my house the night it burned, staring into the flames the way I seen you stare into souls.
Her fists clench and loosen in a series of rapid random movements.
I knew it were a fool's errand trying to hunt down every man and woman that carried a torch into Cold Morn. But
She twists her head from side to side and holds up a hand, the delicately engraved palm empty, but grasping at something.
If I knew I got the one responsible for my kin and my hearth, I might could rest easy.
How can you be so sure about this Harmka fellow?
I took a good long look that night. Ours was a little place with a yellow door right on the edge of town. He was there.
She nods slowly.
Besides, I asked around when I first got to Stalwart. Townsfolk said that all the woodcutters in town took part in the purge. Point of pride for them.
A small plume of heat rises from a seam in her skull.
What's this have to do with me?
I told you he was part of the mob. I spotted him watching my house when it burned. But when we find him, I want to know if he's the one responsible for my home, my parents, and my brothers and sister.
One of her thumbs rubs absently at a scratch on her hand.
I never thought I'd have the chance to know for sure. But you could look into his soul and find out. You being a watcher and all.
I'll do what I can.
Mighty fine of you. Mighty fine indeed.
She nods again, her head bobbing along to a drowsy cadence.
Don't know where he dallies these days, but someone in Stalwart could tell us. People from little villages, they always know.
The black marbles of her eyes scrape against their sockets as she looks at you.
Galvino said you murdered several people before he transferred you. High five.
Effigy's eyes, that man loved to talk.
Her eyes rolls in their sockets.
Why'd you kill those people?
If it's sane and logical reasoning you're wanting, you're going to be disappointed. Ain't no sense in any of it.
I've heard parts of your story from others. I'd rather hear the rest from you. A soft hissing noise comes from the bronze golem. You recognize it as a sigh.
Mayhap you've heard of Coldmore. Was a quiet, forgettable patch of the woods. Till a pack of rabid clodhoppers set it afire.
The fingers of one hand twitch and click against one another in a pair of sudden spastic motions.
That was the start of the purges. Dear Woodens killing their own.
You're upset. A sudden burst of heat flares from her seams, and her essence surges and boils.
A farmer on the other side of the mountains woke up one day with his head all aflame and took it for the gibbering speech of his god. And so did a few thousand of his countrymen. So when he tired of Vorlus fields and marched west, a horde of armed Hicks followed.
She said Hicks. What do you mean?
St. Widwin and his blazing crusade celebrated his coup in Raid Saris by invading the Deerwood. Most of his forces headed north to Halgot Citadel, but a lucky few thousand ventured through the mountains. Through Cold Morn. We let him pass.
You were from Cold Morn? When I heard what happened out there after the war, I couldn't believe my ears.
Fine line between couldn't and wouldn't.
Your Woodens aren't a forgetful sort. You must have known that wouldn't end well.
Maybe not, but the Raid Sarens had us clean beat in numbers. Even bumpkins like us figured that. Just look at Mercy Vale. They fought back, and now there ain't one stone standing atop another in the whole village.
She sweeps one bronze palm across another, metal screeching.
Besides, we asked the Duke for help. Told him Widewind's troops was coming through the mountains. Seems he had better uses for his soldiers.
She crosses her arms over her plated chest.
So we let Widewind's soldiers pass. Left him for the Duke to wrangle on his own terms.
You hear a soft clank as she flicks her wrist. What happened then?
They dealt with the Raid Sarens. Then they came for us. Was after the Godhammer made a fine grid out of Widewind, when Deerwoodens were running on rage and looking for something to burn.
You catch glimmers and glints at her seams as razor-thin wires pull tight within her body.
They came at dark. Hundreds of folk. Every one of them mourning someone lost in the war.
A dry chuckle ticks in her throat.
Must have decided it was our duty to escort their dead back to the wheel. They didn't light their torches till they had us surrounded. Time we saw them, there was a ring of fire closing around us.
She pauses, and the mechanism in the back of her skull clicks dully.
I woke. Ran to the window. Whole village were a maze of flames. Couldn't see nothing but the smoke. And the screams.
Her thumb spasmed to a strange rhythmic beat.
Most ran for the streets. Got caught by the mob. Others hid, let their houses burn down around them.
You cowards deserve no better.
Same goes for the cowards who burned a sleeping village. And the thanes who did nothing.
What does this have to do with your crimes?
Hunting down the men and women what took part. Thought that much was clear.
But you only killed people who attacked Coldmorn, right?
Sure.
Her voice is flat, and as expressionless as her face.
You want me to tell you straight? I found the men and women what destroyed my village, and I burned their houses down around them. Sometimes they was alone, and sometimes they wasn't.
I'm impressed.
I'd have been more pleased myself if I hadn't gotten caught like this. And if I'd gotten through a few more it were a mob that destroyed our village. But it was just one man that burned my family's house. Kept hoping I'd get to him as I was working my way through the rest of those maggots. No matter now, I suppose.
A sigh rattles out of her bronze skull, but her essence whips and twitches, as restless as a cat's tail. You and Galvino had an unusual relationship, huh?
Only kind to have with someone like him. Or me.
She crosses her arms. He claimed he made you.
He'd spread butter on bread and claim he made something. Never been accused of modesty, that man.
Her eyes roll wildly.
He managed to stuff my soul into this heap of bronze, true enough. Maybe that makes him a genius. Also makes him a son of a bitch.
She drums her fingers along one scratched bicep. You resent him?
No other way to feel about the man who flayed my living soul.
Metal squeals as she shifts her folded arms. How long have you known each other?
Around about 13 years. Too long, you ask me.
Did you ever consider murdering him?
Every day. Just kept putting it off. It's not like either of us was going anywhere.
What exactly did you do for him?
She regards you for several seconds, and she shrugs.
Looked after his tools, cleaned the workshop, swung the sledgehammer. Oh, and snatched up travelers for his soul tinkering.
Huh?
All those other golems, where did you think they came from?
She cocks her head.
But don't you worry. They were all bad folk.
Fine by me.
Just so you know, you got a real professional working for you.
Cool.
Yeah, I've had enough of him too.
Let's talk about Durgan's battery then.
Just 'cause I'm made of metal don't mean I got any special fondness for smiths and forges.
Do you remember any of the expeditions that came to Calvino?
Nothing specific. Everyone looks about the same when they got their fingers up their noses.
She pauses thoughtfully, then her head snaps forward in a tiny, quick moment of realization.
Only the last group, one before you, there was something different about them.
3 of her fingers clench and spasm.
Couldn't put my finger on it, but they was dangerous. Almost felt the hair on the back of my neck.
She runs her hand along the smooth, segmented bronze of her neck.
Ain't felt that way about anyone else. Till you walked through Galvino's door, that is.
I think she means that as a compliment.
Do you know anything about it?
No more'n what Galvino already told you. Murder, tracking, and the best materials for kindling. Those are more my area of expertise.
What was your life like before the Saints' War?
There weren't much to say about it. By my reckoning, that means it was pretty good.
She nods thoughtfully.
Ma was a trapper, taught me to set snares and dress game. Dad was a tinker. I never had his patience, but it were fun to watch him work. My brothers and sister, they was good folk too. Part of me's glad they ain't here to see me now.
Her face is blank as ever, but her essence ebbs and rises. She turns away. I think we have filled her hole with questioning. Oh, we will kill that sumbitch.
As you wish.
Why did you lock the crystal away? Why punish us like this? Someone must have the crystal. Where is it?
Come on, folks, get moving. Let's get this done.
There's Tarek. The cave-ins have created openings to the outside. Snow is settled upon the rocks above.
Need something? We're trying to get this place cleared out. He squints at you. What are you doing here anyways? I heard you were the one who found Gamel. I have questions. Huh? Glad someone's finally taken an interest in what's been going on around here. Sure, ask away. Where'd you find Gamel? Found him out to the east, hunched over Samuth's dead body. The state of him. Thought he'd gone feral or something.
He shakes his head.
He had yellow stains on his hands. What the fuck is up with that?
Samuth's a sulfur miner. Worked on the east side of the mines. Probably got it all over his hands. No big mystery there.
One of your workers was acting a little strangely.
Noticed that, have you? I think it's something to do with the sulfur. After they are sent to fetch it back from the east mines, they come back a little off. Caught some of them wandering in circles, talking to themselves. He shrugs. Didn't seem to last once they were outside of the mines.
Eastern mines seem to be the site of a lot of trouble now.
My guess, it's gas bubbling up from the underground. Coming out with the sulfur. Messing with people's heads. Knew a guy once, got a lungful. He decided to shuck off all his clothes and run hollering through the tunnels. We all got an eyeful, but at least he didn't hurt anybody.
What's Cillian's job here?
I have her picking out some potential sites for new tunnels at the moment. Otherwise, she wrangles the constructs mostly these days. Her aim's to have the constructs do most of the dangerous work. You'd have to ask her how she's getting on with that. I never liked those things myself.
Has anyone from your crew gone missing?
Not a one. Guess we've been lucky. Apparently, Gamble is not the only miner to be exhibiting strange behavior. Tarek suspects the sulfur mine itself may be having some adverse effect on the workers. He suggests they look for the missing miners to the east, where the bulk of the sulfur mining is taking place.
Holy shit!
You guys are just chilling right next to some Zorops and Ice Trolls. Just a little FYI. Oh, yeah? Not getting the range on those. Okay, I take it that didn't work. And I caused a graphical glitch. Kill this fucking troll, get him out of my way. Fuck it! That should all be on auto attack. I don't know what you're doing. Kind of an annoying battle when I can't shoot up the cliff at him.
can't get me!
Poison! So much for you!
Let's see, we've got a couple ways we could go here. And this dead ends, so... A miner's note. A set of fragments notes is scribbled almost illegibly on a scrap of parchment. Tunnels, remember lamp, keep hand on right. Wall, hole away, watch for spiders. Fair enough.
What is it?
Light 'em up.
Gotta try something else.
I'll let Margaret's fire!
Gotta try. Just like. Wanna top
I'll let Margaret's...
It's a moon spider.
So much for you!
Now it's just a dead as shit spider.
Kill them! What?
Got like this cool blue skull on his butt. His abdomen. Looks like a guard got sucked into there.
Only for long! Got you! I'll let Margaret... That's it!
Crazy ass Devil Carrick. She is crazy. Holy fucking spider nuts. A peek inside these shallow burrows reveals the gleaming stare of many eyes. We have a confused miner up here.
These miners seem a little loopy to you.
They sure do. This document details the purchase of someone named Silin of a handful of constructs for use in the sulfur mines. The seller appears to have been one Galvino.
Keeping an eye out.
Why did you lock the crystal away? Why you punish us like this?
The miner stares blankly ahead, eyes wide and unfocused.
What is it?
Hey there, hang on just a moment.
She turns towards the nearby constructs. Oh, that's a chick.
Stand down!
The constructs stop instantly, limbs going limp at their sides.
There we are. Now what can I do for you?
I'm looking into the disappearance of the miners of Ismay. Can you answer some questions?
Suppose so. Not sure how much I help I'm gonna be. Tarek's the one that found Gamel.
Have you noticed any strange behavior in the other miners?
Mining's rough work. At the best of times. It's why I like using the constructs. I think these tunnels just start to get people over time. Never thought Gamel would snap like that, though. But sometimes, yeah, folks start acting a little strange, like when, who was it? She frowns. You know, my memory's been acting up lately. I'm starting to think Tarek might be onto something with the gas theory of his.
You think Gamel's responsible?
Sure looks that way. Seeing as he's got bits of Samuth in his teeth.
Do you control these constructs?
That's right, pretty solid workers, seeing as they don't eat, sleep, or go crazy and kill their workmates. She smirks. Not as often as your usual miner, anyways. Swing on by if you have any more. Sylvan's gaze seems to slide off you. With a sudden convulsive ripple, her posture changes. She hunches forward, and her arms dangle loosely at her sides. Brothers! Sisters, Terranat is here! Her head turns towards you, but her gaze is empty.
Terranat? Who are you talking about?
We've been looking for you. We know what you've done. Her legs trudge forward in a slow, ponderous steps as if she might collapse under her own weight at any moment.
Don't come any closer, weirdo!
Take him away. Lock him up until we get what we want.
The constructs behind her turn as one, their clawed fingers at the ready. The constructs charge towards you. Oh, and this bitch is gonna start casting too? Okay, alright.
Thing isn't doing the job.
You just can't beat having two mages. Constructs are immune to all kinds of shit.
This thing is...
So much for you. So much for you.
This thing isn't doing the...
Yes.
That dirty bitch attacked us!
Looped rope grants clarity. The young knight sought a legendary armorer beneath the mountains of the living lands. The knight brought to fortune and gold. and asked the armorer to craft something exquisite to protect her on her adventures. The old armorer agreed on the condition that the young knight would apprentice with him for 3 years to learn the basics of his trade. The young knight agreed and worked at the armorer's side day and night, fashioning breastplate, greaves, cuisses, and shields. As the 3rd year drew to a close, she waited to see what marvelous piece of armor would craft for her. Yet the old man never picked up a hammer, but to correct her technique. On the final evening of her apprenticeship, she approached the armorer and asked about the reward he had promised. He counseled patience and told her that he would finish it by morning. When she rose the next day, she found him sitting by the hearth, twisting a length of rope. "I've done all you asked," she said. "I have served you faithfully and learned your trade. Where is the armor you promised me?" "It is here," the old man said, holding up the rope. "You vowed to grant me a great protection," the knight said, her hand moving to her blade. "And so I have. You have worked at my side for 3 years. You have seen how even the strongest steel shatters, dents, and rust. The greatest protection is not bent metal, but mastery over your own mind. With this, even the gravest wound shall not stop you." Pretty nice, though. Plus 20 defense against blinded, weakened, unconscious, terrified, stunned, distracted. All kinds of shit. Jesus, yeah. We want that. Gimme! Who wants a super kick-ass belt? Be good for a mage, too. Keep them from getting taken over. Yeah, we're going to give that bad boy to Ron stock. This knockdown belt kind of sucks. Grants knockdown once per encounter. Whoop-de-doo. This dark burrow extends deep into the wall of the mines. Unlike the miners' tunnels, the walls here have almost slick texture, interspersed by damp, oppressed earth. A few paces past the entrance, the tunnel widens considerably. You find yourself at a crossroads where the tunnel splits off in 3 directions. 2 tunnels lead to the left and right, while your third stretches ahead of you. You can feel the breeze faintly but steady coming from the tunnel to your right. Remember the note. Stay to the right. Follow the breeze. Walking on, you come to a fork in the road. The tunnel splits here, curving away to the left and right. You feel a breeze, faint and steady, coming from the tunnel to your right. You plunge forward into darkness, reaching out. You can feel the walls continuing to the left and right, but you cannot see what lies just ahead. You hear a faint rustling from just down the tunnel to your right, and a repetitive tap, tap, tap of bristly legs striking the cavern floor. A faint breeze goes across your face, flowing from the tunnel ahead. You hold your torch aloft, and the tunnels take shape ahead of you. Paths lead off to the left and right, and straight ahead. A faint breeze goes across your face, flowing from the tunnel ahead. Walking on, you come to a fork in the road. The tunnel splits here, curving away to the left and the right. Probably right again, no? A breeze flows the tunnel to the left. You trudge briskly past a long, empty stretch tunnel. Walking on, you come to a fork in the road. The tunnel splits here, curving away to the left and right. You can feel the breeze from the right. You see a light up ahead as the tunnel comes to an end. Stepping clear of the tunnel, you find yourself in a new cavern system, a thick layer of spider webs under your feet. Welcome to the Spider Ghetto, baby.
Someone must have the crystal. Where is it?
Fucked you up!
Well, looks like we got Vithrak back here. Controlling our miners as well. That's not cool. Let's go ahead and grab a new save. White March Part 2.
What is it?
It's a mind grub and a potion of barring death's door. +4 perception, +4 intellect. Mind grubs are today are considered a Vithrak delicacy, but the mind grub harvest are said to have a very, very pragmatic origins. Mind grubs undergo a prolonged development cycle, starting out as pale, fragile larvae, and ultimately undergoing a dramatic metamorphosis into large and highly dangerous adults. Few kith have encountered these creatures in the wild and lived to tell the tale. And the notoriously insular Vithrak are not forthcoming with the information, but a few more lurid fables suggest the mind grubs are all that remained of a second sentient culture that once vied with the Vithrak for dominance. In any case, the Vithrak are content to devour them in the early stages. Consuming mind grubs is said to heighten the senses and sharpen wits, but the grubs themselves are all but indigestible to kith, who tend to come out of the experience with an upset stomach. So we get sickened. Not a fan of that, but...
Yes.
Good thing I'm freshly greased.
Go into hide mode, she says, good thing I'm freshly greased.
That is a good thing. We don't want no squeaky, crotchety golem here.
Let us in, we need more.
Fine.
These bastards. I don't want to do that now. Where's my, fucking... There we go.
Gotta try something else.
Whoa, chickie.
Right here.
Owen Ixi Ana. So much for you.
I shall.
Fucking Lug Lug's lighting up Eloth.
But don't.
Gotta try something.
Brains! Give me your brains, bitches! The barrier lies across the doorway, humming with strange energy. You see no obvious way past it. You probably need the crystal that everyone won't shut up about.
Right here.
Okay, we got us a bunch of dudes up here. Found me. I don't think you can mind control my my golem. This thing is gonna get torn asunder.
Gotta try something else.
Shit!
Right here.
Fucking tons of dudes coming. Alright. She's getting banged up pretty bad here.
Right here. Okay. That'll do. Got it done.
Vithrak crystal. I found a crystal in the Vithrak nest. I may be able to use it to open the sealed door. Wrapped up in a bundle of webs, you can see small spiked Vithrak eggs. Periodically, they pulse with movement from within. We're going to bust a little camp there and call it a vid. We'll see you soon with more Pillars of Eternity.